Watch Nighttiger Comics!
Nighttiger Comics.
Tiger Comics!
Nighttiger Comics!
Tiger Comics!
I just wanted to show a few tricks and tips that I do when I'm bagging and boarding. Another thing that I might note here, when you're taping the back of your bags, you see how the tape was put on the long way? Anytime you put the tape on the long way and you go to try to reopen the bag, your tape's going to split very easily. That's why I suggest when you put your tape on, put it on the long way. Like this, it's less likely to split when you go to reopen your bag. I don't know if you can see that piece of tape right there. That's the thing that I learned. It's not a big deal, but it's just you know you don't want to have a whole lot of tape build up on your back to make it nice and neat. So one of the things I do when I'm going to put a comic in a new bag and board is if I see dog-eared pages like this right here, I like to straighten them out. So I take an X-Acto knife and use the blunt end. Believe me, I've used the sharp end before, and it's so simple to cut off these page corners. And just fold them back really gentle, like this, and let the knife do all the work. Grab them in your fingers. Like that. And when you do this and you get them all in your fingers, and you just flatten the book down like this and hold it, and then you put it in your bag, and then they'll stay flat. And if you ever need to go and press this book, they'll already be ready to press. Just pull it out, steam it, throw it in the press, and they'll stay flat. So that's what I do for dog-eared stuff. Dog-eared pages. Okay, another thing I do when I have bags that have residue from tape right here, and if they're Mylites and they're dirty, I also do this. So that has a little bit of residue there, that has some tape residue here. I buy this stuff, non-acetone nail polish remover. And then what I'll do is I'll take a napkin. You don't want to use toilet paper. Just that will fall apart. Take a strong napkin, and maybe you want to wear a mask if you guys are sensitive to smells. This stuff is very strong. It's very strong smelling. Put that out of your way so you don't spill it, and just rub the book until you get the residue off. Comes off pretty easy with this stuff. It will actually take the glue, and everything that's not glue will gather, so you'll have to wipe that off too in the end. And you put a little spot on your napkin, and that should be enough to do at least 2 books. Now this thing will probably have to dry a little bit, and then you'll get the rest of that stuff off when it dries, because the glue it will destroy the glue. But anything that's not glue will still be there, and you'll have to wipe that off later. It's hard to do in front of a camera. Okay, so that, and this is good stuff also for cleaning up Mylar. So that book looks good. There's still a little bit of residue dry right here. Might have to go over it twice, but it's not sticky anymore at least. And then we'll do one more book. Oh man, sorry, that's my shoulder. Oh. And this will not eat the Mylite. Just, that's important. You don't want that. I have never tried it with acetone, because I know acetone's pretty strong stuff. But you could see here, it's getting the glue off, but whatever's not glue is still there. And that has to be wiped away once you're able to get all all the sticky stuff. And then you'll have to wipe that book or that cover. This one's a little bit stubborn. So anyways, that's how I clean up my Mylar, or my lights, should I say. Because these things are expensive. They're what? They run about $1 for the MyLight with the board in it. And $1 adds up. So anytime you can save one, you want to do it. You can see I cleaned that residue right off there. Okay, so we got that. Okay, third thing I want to show that I do when I do new bag and board, this is polybag, I always put the shiny side in to the comic because the acids from the book can't penetrate that plastic coated side as easy. And then I put my book in. So I got a Silver Age book, Silver Age bag. But then what I also do is I have my phone next to me with my CLZ app open. So what I'll do is I'll look up the book, Weird Worlds. DC right there, look up number 9. And then I'll look here at the date. And if it's a significant artist, I'll look for that. If it's a key, I'll look for that. And I look for the date and the month of the book. And I go to the back of my board right here. And I'll write number 9. February 1974. I like to do that, and when I do a haul on a book, I like to be able to tell the viewer what month and year the book was published. And if it has a significant key to it, I'll write that on the back. Whatever the artist is, whatever the key is, I'll write that right here. And then when you're doing a comic book haul and you're presenting the book outward, you can actually just read the back. And then people think that you're really smart and that you know everything about comics. So those 3 things that I do when I'm bagging and boarding. One thing I did want to show also, I'll look at the bag and the board. Now look at this bag. You can see it's got wrinkles. It's pretty old. That happens in about a year, maybe sometimes 2 years. It's still a nice clean bag, but you can just see the book doesn't look as nice because you can see the wrinkles. So I'll rebag and board that. On this one, I'll put a backing in here, the date and the month, and I'll put Jack Kirby, cover and interiors, because Jack Kirby is a big key any book that he does. I like to note that on the back. Very good series. I love it. So those are a couple things that I do when I'm bagging and reboarding. And I don't know, maybe that will help you, maybe it won't. And then, you know, it's fun because you get to handle the comic even longer. You know, when you get to read it, you get to do this, then you get to read it. So you handle the book as much as you can, get familiar with it, experience it, smell it, and then you put it in your box and you have fond memories of your book. So I hope you enjoyed this short video. And, you know, if you have any tips or tricks that you do while you're putting your books or bagging or boarding, share them with us. Well, this is Nighttiger, and you guys take care. So, what's your favorite superhero?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.